I'd like to welcome you to the 229th meeting of the Wichita World Trade Council. I know I'm an unfamiliar face for you. I'm Ted J. Blamis. I'm one of the vice chairmen of the Wichita World Trade Council, along with my friend and colleague, Dan Meyer. And we're operating, trying to fill the shoes of a great leader. The World Trade Council was founded 45 years ago with Dr. Dharma de Silva as one of the founding members. Dr. de Silva has led the World Trade Council for the last 43 years. I'd like Dr. de Silva's family to stand up. Dima's been here at so many meetings. And his family has been so supportive of all the work that Dr. de Silva's done. Could you please stand and be recognized? I'd like to say just a few words about Dr. de Silva. I've had the opportunity to be involved in international business for over 30 years. When I started out 30 years ago, I didn't know anything about international business. Sir Isaac Newton once was asked, well, how were you able to develop the theory of gravitation and all your physical laws? And Isaac Newton said, if I've seen further, it's only because I stood on the shoulders of giants. And I think a lot of us in this room have stood on the shoulders of a true giant, Dr. de Silva. Could I see a show of hands of everybody whose business has been significantly influenced and helped by Dr. de Silva's work? It's just a real tribute. Wichita is, I believe, the third largest per capita export market in the United States, and that's including a lot of exports that go through Boeing in Seattle. A lot of the work is done in Wichita. So, Wichita exporting is critical to the Wichita community, and I don't know anybody who's done more to help Wichita exports than Dr. de Silva. In addition to helping U.S. exports, Dr. de Silva, through the World Trade Council, through his other activities, has really fostered a collaboration between the business community and between Wichita State University that I really think is unparalleled. And I think this is one of the things that really stands out about the World Trade Council, about Wichita State, and about the Wichita community. I've said a couple of my words about Dr. de Silva. I'd like to take a moment now of silence for each of us to reflect on what Dr. de Silva has meant to us and how much we've benefited from him. Thank you all very much. At this time, I mentioned that I think one of the great contributions of Dr. de Silva has been fostering the relationship between the Wichita World Trade Council, the Wichita business community, and Wichita State. At this time, I'd like to have Dr. John Perry make a couple remarks on behalf of Wichita State University.
I'm John Perry. I'm the chair of the management department at Wichita State. I've only been at Wichita State for 12 years. That pales in comparison to how long Dr. de Silva was at Wichita State. So in preparation for my comments, I talked to my colleagues who had known him longer. And I asked, what is it? What should I say about Dr. de Silva? What are his defining characteristics? And to a word, to a person, they use some variant of passion. And I said, what was he passionate about? And they said, well, he was passionate about international business. He was an early advocate for global trade. He sought to advance knowledge about international business best practices before others From an academic perspective, he wrote his own textbook, which few of us do. It speaks volumes to the fact that he would do that because he wanted to pass on best practices to his students and to the business community. He was passionate about Wichita. He was passionate about Wichita State University. He founded the Center for International Business Advancement. He created opportunities for the university to develop relationships with the business community and the civic community in Wichita and beyond. Primarily, one of the main reasons, one of the main venues for that was here at the World Trade Council. He spent endless hours advancing the university's mission as it's changed over time, and he advocated for WSU to businesses and potential employers for its students. And when I talked to my colleagues, and they talked about his passion, when they came down to it, they ultimately said, maybe he was most passionate about his students. And I'm still young in career, but when they said that, they said it so earnestly, and they look up at me and they say, it was the students that seemed to matter to him. He tried to find them jobs. He took time for students. He created scholarships for students. He advocated for them, and he sought opportunities for them. So I don't know, he's obviously done wonderful work, he did wonderful work with the World Trade Council, but from an academic perspective, as I listened to my colleagues, what they were describing to me was not an ideal professor. Someone who cared about the university, cared about the business community, and cared about the students. And I think he really sets a wonderful example of what a professor is, was, and should be for Wichita State and all of us who come after him. So I honor Dr. De Silva, and I know that his legacy will continue on at Wichita State. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We pulled some statistics in preparation for this meeting. At our 228 previous World Trade Council meetings, we have had over 43,000 people that have attended these meetings. And we weren't even able to count the number of students that we've had. It's just too large to tabulate. If you'd like to recognize Dr. De Silva and continue his work, we look forward to continuing the work of the World Trade Council, and we welcome involvement of our members in the World Trade Council as we go forward. Also, on the table outside as you leave, when you leave your badges, there are envelopes where you can make a contribution to the Dharma de Silva Scholarship Fund that will help fund Wichita State University students studying overseas and fostering those ties with people in other countries and other cultures. So I would encourage you to think about making a donation there in honor of Dr. De Silva. With that, I'm going to turn the program over to Parker Dooley and his team from JP Morgan Chase to give us insights into the first 100 days of the Trump administration.